Have you ever wondered why the harder you chase someone, the further they seem to run? It feels unfair, doesn't it? You give them attention, you show them love, you make them the center of your world, and somehow they seem less interested. Deep down, you know you deserve to be valued, but every time you try to prove your worth, it feels like you lose a little more of yourself. That's because attraction doesn't work the way we've been taught. The more you make someone the center of your universe, the more you shrink in their eyes. It's not because you're not good enough, it's because you're giving away your power. This is where detachment becomes your greatest strength. Detachment isn't about being cold or heartless. It's about taking your energy back and standing tall in who you are. When you stop chasing, you stop telling the world that you're desperate. You start sending a new message, that your time, your love, and your attention are valuable. And value attracts. The moment you realize that you are not defined by who stays or who leaves, you become magnetic. Think about the people you admire. They don't beg for respect. They don't beg for attention. They carry themselves in a way that makes others want to be around them. That energy comes from focusing inward, not outward. It comes from knowing that you are already enough, even if no one else is clapping for you. When you start working on yourself, building habits that make you stronger, healthier, and more grounded, everything around you shifts. People notice. Energy doesn't lie. The truth is, chasing love rarely brings it closer. What brings it closer is stepping back and becoming the kind of person who doesn't have to chase, someone who chooses themselves first. When you invest in your growth, when you build a life that excites you, you naturally create space for others to feel your absence and miss what you bring into their world. And that space is powerful. It's in that silence where they start to remember your value. You might feel a rush of anxiety when you stop reaching out, but that discomfort is where transformation happens. That is where you reclaim your self-respect. You're no longer saying, "Please see me." You're saying, "I see myself," and that is enough. This shift changes everything. How you walk, how you talk, how you show up in every room you enter. And people respond to that. This isn't about playing games. It's about refusing to shrink yourself to keep someone close. It's about showing up as the strongest, most authentic version of you. When you stop running after them, you give them the chance to run toward you. When you stop begging for their time, you invite them to choose you freely. And when they do, it's not because you forced it. It's because they see what they almost lost. Stop chasing, stand still, rise higher. Because the moment you do, you won't just win them back, you'll win yourself back. And that is the most powerful thing you can ever do. Strength is not about being louder, it's about being unshaken. When everything around you feels unstable, when emotions rise and fear tells you to react, your greatest power is to hold your ground. This is what owning your frame truly means. Standing firm no matter what is happening on the outside. It's about controlling the only thing you can ever truly control, yourself. When you hold that steady energy, you send a silent message that you cannot be pushed, pulled, or broken by anyone's actions. That energy is rare, and that's why it's irresistible. Women are drawn to presence, not panic. They are drawn to calm, grounded strength that says, "Say, I am here, I am whole, and I am not easily moved." The moment you start chasing, pleading, or reacting to every shift in their mood, you lose that groundedness. You give away your center, and with it, you give away your respect. True attraction thrives on polarity, on the dance between calm strength and natural emotion. When you are the steady one, you create safety and mystery at the same time. Imagine being a rock in a river. The water may rush, twist, and crash, but the rock remains unshaken. That is the power you are building right now. Emotional stability is not about suppressing what you feel. It's about choosing how to respond. It's pausing before you speak, breathing before you act, and remembering that your worth is not tied to someone else's approval. This is how you stop the cycle of overreacting, over-explaining, and overcompensating. Every time you hold your frame, you remind yourself that you are not here to earn love by performing for it. You are here to share love from a place of abundance. You stop letting every message, every silence, every look control your state of mind. That calmness is powerful because it makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability reignites curiosity. When she realizes that you are no longer easily swayed, she starts to look at you differently. She starts to feel your presence in a way she hasn't felt before. You don't rebuild respect by proving yourself over and over. You rebuild it by showing that you cannot be shaken out of who you are. That is the core of masculine energy, being firm, centered, and purposeful regardless of circumstances. And when you stand in that space, something incredible happens. You no longer fear losing her because you've already won yourself. Hold your frame, protect your peace, let your actions speak louder than your words, because the man who remains unshaken in the middle of the storm is the man who draws others back into his life, not because he begged, not because he fought, but because he became the anchor they could not find anywhere else. Confidence is not something you wait to feel, it's something you create. The mind believes what it repeatedly sees you do, which means every small action you take is shaping the way you see yourself. When you take control of your daily habits, you take control of your identity. And when your identity shifts, everything about the way you show up shifts with it. The fastest way to rebuild your confidence is not through words or affirmations, but through action. Action rewires the brain to trust you again. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, waking up when you said you would, finishing the workout you almost skipped, staying focused on your goals, you send yourself proof that you are reliable, disciplined, and strong. That proof builds unshakable self-worth. And self-worth is magnetic. When you feel proud of who you are becoming, you stop needing validation from anyone else. You stop seeking constant reassurance that you are enough because your actions already prove it to you. Women notice this shift. They feel it before they see it. There is a quiet power in a man who invests in himself. It shows up in the way you walk, in the way you speak, in the way you look at the world. You no longer have to convince anyone of your value. You radiate it. People are naturally drawn to someone who is moving forward, who is driven by something bigger than approval. When you live with purpose, you become the kind of person others want to follow, not the one who is begging to be followed. This is why becoming better is more effective than begging for a second chance. Words can be ignored, but growth cannot. When someone sees that you are truly leveling up, that you are building a life that excites you, that you are no longer waiting around for them to choose you, something powerful happens inside them. They begin to question what they are losing by not being part of your world. That questioning creates a pull, and that pull is far stronger than any pressure you could apply by chasing. Choose one thing today that makes you better than you were yesterday. One thing that proves you are becoming the man you respect. Confidence doesn't appear overnight, but it grows with every choice you make in alignment with your future self. Soon you will feel the difference. Soon they will feel the difference. You will no longer be the man asking to be chosen. You will be the man who chooses himself first. You don't get them back by waiting. You don't get them back by convincing. You get them back by becoming so focused, so consistent, and so committed to your own growth that they can't help but see what you've become. And when you reach that point, you will realize something even greater. The goal was never just to win them back. The goal was to win back your own respect, and nothing is more attractive than that. Space is one of the most powerful tools you have, yet most people are too afraid to use it. The fear of losing someone makes you want to close the gap, send another message, ask for another chance, explain yourself one more time. But every time you do, you take away the most valuable thing you could ever give them, the chance to miss you. When you step back, you allow their mind to wander, and that wandering is where curiosity and longing are born. Psychologists call it reactance, the natural human response to value freedom. When someone feels pressured, they resist, even if they care about you. When they feel free, they begin to choose from a place of desire instead of fear. Giving space allows that freedom to exist. It removes the pressure, it quiets the noise, and it lets their feelings breathe. Without space, attraction suffocates. With space, it has room to grow. This is not about playing games, it's about respecting yourself enough to let silence do its work. It's about trusting that if what you shared was real, it will resurface when given time and distance. You do not need to fill every gap with words. You do not need to remind them every day that you are there. Your absence can speak louder than your presence ever did, if you let it. That silence can feel unbearable at first. You will be tempted to break it, to check in, to seek reassurance. But that's where discipline comes in. Every moment you hold the line, you send a message not just to them but to yourself. I am strong enough to wait. I am strong enough to trust myself. I am strong enough to let this unfold without forcing it. That strength is attractive, it is rare, and it is powerful. Space also gives you something priceless, clarity. Without constant interaction, you can finally see the situation clearly. You can ask yourself what you really want, whether this person truly deserves the version of you that you are becoming, whether the relationship you once had is even aligned with where you are going. Sometimes the very act of stepping back helps you realize that you were holding on out of fear, not love, and that realization sets you free. You are not just giving them room to come back. You are giving yourself room to grow. You are creating a gap wide enough for self-respect to expand, for purpose to deepen, for confidence to rise. When they do return, they won't find the same person they left. They will find someone stronger, calmer, and more grounded. And that difference will make them see you with fresh eyes. Do not fear space. Use it. Honor it. Trust it. Because the man who can step back without losing himself is the man who commands respect without saying a word. And when she feels that strength, she won't just remember you, she will feel the weight of what she almost lost. Control over your emotions is control over your life. The moment you let anger, desperation, or fear take over, you hand away your power. Emotional reactions feel good in the moment, but they leave you weaker, exposed, and full of regret. Strength comes from mastering that instant where you want to explode, to defend yourself, to prove your worth. When you can stay calm in that moment, you win the battle that most people lose. Emotional control does not mean ignoring what you feel. It means choosing to respond, not react. It means taking a breath before speaking, thinking before acting, and refusing to let a temporary feeling destroy something permanent. Women respect a man who can handle intensity without losing himself. They are drawn to stability, to a presence that feels like an anchor when emotions run high. If you become that anchor, you create a sense of safety that is rare and unforgettable. Every time you keep your cool instead of snapping back, you reinforce your strength. Every time you resist the urge to send a desperate message, you prove to yourself that you are bigger than the moment. These small victories compound, shaping you into someone who cannot be easily shaken. That composure doesn't just affect your relationships, it transforms the way you live. You become more patient, more deliberate, more in control of your own destiny. The truth is, when you lose emotional control, you make yourself predictable. Predictability kills attraction. When someone knows you will panic every time they pull away, they stop respecting you. But when you remain calm, when you refuse to let silence or distance break you, you become unpredictable in the best way. They start to wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, why you're not reacting the way you used to. That curiosity pulls them back toward you. Use your emotions as fuel, not weapons. Let anger push you to grow stronger. Let sadness remind you of what you value. Let pain drive you to become better. But never let those emotions control your actions. Channel them into building yourself up, into creating a life so solid that no rejection, no silence, no disappointment can shake its foundation. You are not meant to be tossed around by every wave of feeling. You are meant to be the calm in the storm, the steady force that others can lean on. That kind of emotional power is not just attractive, it is transformative. It changes how people treat you, how they see you, how they feel when they are around you. Every moment you master your emotions, you send a signal. I am unbreakable. I am not desperate. I am not controlled by fear. and that signal is impossible to ignore. Because in a world full of people who let their emotions rule them, the one who stays calm becomes unforgettable. When your life is built around one person, you hand them all the power. Your moods rise and fall based on their attention. Your focus drifts because you're waiting for their reply, and your confidence crumbles every time they pull away. This is why purpose matters. Purpose is the anchor that keeps you steady no matter who stays or who leaves. When you have a mission, when you wake up every day knowing where you are going and why, you stop chasing validation, you start chasing greatness. And greatness attracts everything you once thought you had to beg for. Purpose shifts your energy in a way words never could. A man on a mission carries himself differently. He moves with intention, speaks with clarity, and refuses to waste time on things that do not align with where he is headed. This is magnetic. People can feel when you are going somewhere. They can sense that your time is valuable, that you will not trade it for drama, games, or attention-seeking. That level of focus demands respect. You are not here to revolve around someone else's world. You are here to build your own. Pour yourself into the work that fuels you, the goals that make you proud, the growth that challenges you. Every hour you spend improving yourself is an hour that compounds into confidence, into strength, into a life that feels unstoppable. And when she sees you living with that kind of drive, she will feel the shift. She will see that you are no longer waiting, no longer putting everything on hold just to win her back. That doesn't push her away, it pulls her closer, because nothing is more attractive than someone who is fully alive, someone who refuses to let rejection kill their spirit. You show her that you are not just capable of standing without her, but that you are thriving. And that energy makes her question why she would want to stay away from a man who is clearly rising. Do not confuse purpose with distraction. This is not about numbing yourself or keeping busy just to forget her. This is about elevating your life so that no matter what happens, you are still moving forward. It is about becoming so focused on your mission that you stop waiting for someone else to validate you. Because when you live with purpose, you stop fearing loss. You stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing being alone. The man who is driven by a mission cannot be broken by someone leaving. He may feel pain, but he does not lose direction. He keeps moving. And that movement builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. And confidence draws everything you want back to you. Not because you begged for it, but because you became the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Live for something bigger than getting her back. Build something so powerful, so meaningful, that it commands attention on its own. When you chase growth, instead of chasing her, you stop being the man who waits. You become the man she regrets walking away from. Your energy speaks before your words ever do. People can feel when you are confident, when you are grounded, when you are at peace with yourself. They can also feel when you are desperate, anxious, and seeking validation. Attraction is not built through endless talking. It is built through the subtle signals you give off every single day. The way you stand, the way you breathe, the way you respond or choose not to respond. All of it communicates something. When you over-explain, over-apologize, or over-text, you send a message that you are trying to convince someone of your worth. But worth does not need to be explained. It is either seen or it is not. You reclaim your power by saying less and living more, by letting your silence carry weight, by choosing your words carefully, speaking calmly, and never rushing to fill the space just because it feels uncomfortable. That space becomes your strength, and your strength becomes undeniable. Women notice when a man stops being reactive. They notice when you no longer jump at every call or reply instantly out of fear of losing them. They notice when you stop trying to fix everything with long paragraphs and instead respond with calm, measured energy. That shift creates intrigue. It makes them wonder what changed in you. It makes them lean in closer to figure out why you feel different, why your presence carries more weight than it used to. There is power in holding back. There is power in delayed responses, in waiting before speaking, in showing through your actions rather than telling through endless words. You do not need to prove that you are strong. You simply need to act from strength. The calm man who speaks few but meaningful words commands far more respect than the man who uses 1,000 to explain why he should be respected. Even your body language tells a story. Shoulders back, head up, slow and steady movements. These are signals of confidence that require no effort and no explanation. People feel it when you walk into a room with certainty. They feel it when you look them in the eye without flinching, when you sit in silence without fidgeting, when you smile not to please, but because you are genuinely at peace. Start practicing this discipline today. Speak less but with purpose. Breathe before you respond. Let others feel the weight of your presence before they hear the sound of your voice. The less you try to prove, the more they will see. The less you seek attention, the more attention you will naturally draw. It is not always what you say that brings someone back. It is the energy you carry when you say nothing at all. That energy is what lingers in their mind long after the conversation ends. That energy is what makes them think about you when you are not around. And that energy is what makes them realize they cannot ignore you, because you have become someone impossible to forget. The final shift happens when you stop seeing her return as the destination and start seeing yourself as the prize. The moment you make her the ultimate goal, you lose leverage over your own life. You put your happiness in her hands, and that is too much power for anyone else to hold. Real strength is built when you decide that your growth, your peace, and your purpose matter more than being chosen by anyone. You begin to understand that love is not about holding on tighter. It is about becoming someone who cannot be overlooked whether she comes back or not. When you stop living for her response, everything becomes lighter. You no longer wake up wondering if today will be the day she calls. You wake up wondering how much better you can become before the sun sets. This shift is not just attractive, it is liberating. You stop seeking permission to be happy. You stop waiting for closure that may never come. You give yourself closure by building a life so meaningful that her absence no longer feels like a wound, but like a lesson. Abundance is the mindset that transforms heartbreak into fuel. It is the belief that life is not defined by one person, one moment, or one rejection. There are infinite opportunities ahead of you, but you cannot see them if you are staring at the past. The world opens up when you stop obsessing over what you lost and start focusing on what you can create. That is when you become dangerous, not because you are reckless, but because you are free. The man who becomes free is the man who cannot be ignored. When she sees that you are no longer waiting, that you are no longer defined by her decision, that you are living with joy and certainty, she will feel the shift deep inside. She will remember the version of you that once doubted himself and see how far you have come. And whether she returns or not, you will have already won, because you have become the man who no longer needs to be chosen. Transformation is always more powerful than transaction. This is not about trading effort for her attention. It is about rising so high that her attention becomes a natural response, not the reason you exist. You become magnetic by becoming whole. You stop begging for love and start radiating it from within. Let this be the moment you draw a line and say, enough. Enough waiting, enough chasing, enough giving away your worth. You have a life to build, a mission to fulfill, a self to master. If she returns, it will be because she sees that you are no longer the man she left. You are better. And if she doesn't, it won't matter, because you will have become the man who no longer looks back. That is where true freedom begins. That is where you finally win. There is a rare kind of power that comes from knowing you are enough without needing anyone else to confirm it. It is quiet, it is calm, and it is undeniable. When you reach that place, you stop negotiating for love. You stop shrinking to keep people near. You stop betraying your own standards just to feel wanted. You rise above the fear of being alone and realize that being alone was never the enemy. Being disconnected from yourself was. Once that connection is rebuilt, no one can take it away from you. You are no longer operating from a place of lack. You no longer cling because you fear losing. You no longer settle because you're afraid of starting over. You carry yourself with an energy that says, "Sent I am whole, with or without you." That energy is irresistible. It shifts the balance completely. Instead of chasing, you attract. Instead of begging, you choose. And that choice is powerful because it comes from strength, not desperation. This is how you turn pain into power. You take every moment of rejection, every ounce of heartbreak, every silent night that broke you, and you let it forge you into someone unshakable. The pain that once consumed you becomes the fire that refines you. The silence that once tortured you becomes the space where you rebuild your mind. You are no longer the person who waits by the phone. You are the person building something worth calling back to. When you show up as this new version of yourself, the world responds. People treat you differently because you treat yourself differently. Your standards are higher. Your presence is stronger. Your time is more valuable. You stop letting anyone waste it, including the version of you that once begged for attention. That part of you no longer runs the show. The man you are becoming leads with clarity, with purpose, with quiet confidence that does not need to be explained. And this is where true attraction begins. Not just with her, but with life itself. Opportunities open, connections deepen, and you find yourself surrounded by people who match the level you've worked so hard to reach. Whether she returns or not, you are no longer waiting for the past to validate you. You are already validated by the work you put in every single day. This is the ultimate victory, becoming the man who cannot be ignored, not because he fought to be seen, but because he became impossible to overlook. You are no longer hoping she sees your value. You are living in a way that makes your value undeniable. You have turned heartbreak into strength, silence into discipline, rejection into fuel, and from this place you are free, free to choose, free to rise, free to create a future that no longer depends on whether anyone comes back. This is the moment you stop chasing love and start embodying it. And when you do, everything you once thought you lost has a way of finding you again.